Joe Laughlin wrote an article, and in it, he said the winter forecast is, and I quote, a work in progress. Let me tell you something. We are not a work in progress. This is as good as it's going to get. All right. It might even go downhill from here. All right. This is where we are. And if you can't take us at this level, you don't deserve us at whatever the next chapter holds.
Yeah.
I don't know if that next chapter is going to be a good one or a bad one, but be grateful for what you have, damn it. So, well, God damn it. Let's get on to the forecast. Oh, look who showed up.
Hey.
How's it going? How we doing?
Doing all right. We're out here.
Yeah, we out here.
Out here.
It was only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time that something happened.
You wanna lead the way on this one?
Not a great week, I'd say, for either of us. Our picks just didn't look good whatsoever. No. We might have gone half right.
I mean, listen, we may have gotten exposed to COVID. We didn't pick any games right, and we got ripped by Joe Laughlin. Not a great start to our week. For those that are watching, as any responsible person should be doing these days. So we're just making sure we engage in contact tracing and are ensuring that we have had any exposures, we're staying apart. And so here we are now, just doing the right thing in these strange times, calls for strange adaptations. What was really strange, though, was the Bengals somehow deciding that they were good at football. We don't have to.
Who would have thought about that? They were like, oh, let's just beat up on the 5-2 Texans or Titans.
I should have known the moment that I said Tanny's got swagger that we were in.
Yeah, that really backfired.
Let me just say this, all right? If we were to pick every game correctly, no one would watch football, right? No, you wouldn't have a reason at home. We're doing what's right for you. We're swallowing our pride and picking some games wrong because we know that you need a reason to sit down and watch the games. So we're doing the right thing.
Now you guys know.
All right. So can you hear my car alarm? It's not mine.
No,
I don't have a car. Oh, that's another thing right now. Another part of how great this week has been. I don't have a car right now.
No, you don't have a car?
No. So, you know how my car does that thing where, for those that don't know, my car does this thing where it screams. And is that how you describe it?
That's a really good way to describe it, actually. It's a cry out in pain.
Definitely not a happy scream. I don't know how often I don't know how common those are, but it's definitely not one of those. And for a while, I think it's like the power steering fluid. Well, I know it's the power steering fluid that it's been low. And so sometimes the wheel will fight me a bit, and you just got to wrangle it. It's fine. But I knew that there was some other damage being done to the car. Yeah, anywho, it's gonna be like $1,200. It's gonna be a bad time. So I'm in that phase where I'm like, do I fix the car? Do I not? It's a 2005 Ford Escape. It's not like I don't even know if it's worth $1,200. So anywho. Losses. Speaking of losses, the Colts handed the Lions quite a loss last week.
Of course they did. They're the Colts. Titans lost to the Bengals. Texans aren't a team this year. Jaguars are losing Gardner Minshew this week, and they're not even in the running. Colts are the best team in the AFC South. They will be taking the spot of the Titans in the playoffs, and the Titans will be taking the wild card. Guarantee it.
You're crazy. The Titans have one back.
So both the Colts and Titans have 4 victories over teams with current losing record. However, the main margin of victory in those games have been the Colts at 70, but the Titans at 12. At this point last year,
is that like the aggregate margin? Is that like how much they've beaten opponents by? Okay.
Yes. At this point last year, the Colts had 2 victories over teams with losing records. Their margin of victory, 5 points. Not too far from the Titans. I'm just saying that the Titans are 5-0 at the start of their season, and that's a bit of an anomaly. They're a good team, but for sure not as good as their 5-0 record, now 5-2, like really indicates. They've been finishing games, but they've been to bad teams. They're winning against bad teams by the smallest margins. It comes down to the last plays of the game. The Colts have it completely down. The coaching is really aligned. The defense has been pulling all the stops. Offense is coming together. Philip Rivers, just his noodle arm is just, it's getting the job done.
Somehow, yeah.
I mean, all we have to do is run the damn ball. That's our record, or that's our whole motto. I have Colts beating the Ravens this week.
Listen, I'm all for
Beating the Ravens. I think they're really slept on. I'm calling it now. Colts win this game. Ravens haven't proven anything. Ravens aren't any good this season. I just don't think they're any. I don't think that
the Ravens are a solid 5-2 right now.
they're solid 5-2. But whenever they play a good team, they've choked.
Like, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ravens, you're not wrong. The Ravens don't have a quality win on their schedule. Basically, they've beaten the NFC East and the Browns. That's it. And the Browns was week 1. So I do agree. I think the Ravens are a little overhyped. I do think that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are going to have a chip on their shoulder coming off of this loss. And I understand that, you want to ride the hot hand right now, which is absolutely the Indianapolis Colts. If they were playing anyone else, not anyone else, but if they were playing a team coached by someone with a little less chops than John Harbaugh, I would believe in Philip Rivers, his noodle arm, and Frank Reich. But I think I'm going to go with the Ravens and John Harbaugh over the Colts.
You'll regret that later.
Oh yeah. Okay. Bet.
So next we have Lions and Vikings.
Again,
Interesting matchup because both teams are just this close to being good.
I mean, the Vikings looked solid last week.
They looked very solid. Dalvin Cook blew everyone out of the park.
I think this was a game that really, it just worked for the Vikings because it's a cold, windy game. If it's going to be a battle for who can throw the ball better between Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers, that's not going to be a game. That's going to be Aaron Rodgers all day. But if you make it an ugly game, right, where, it's just that kind of game that you just are miserable to do anything but play football. It's going to, you got to trust the running game of the Vikings and that interior offensive line with Dalvin Cook over whatever the Packers have going for them. They didn't even have a healthy backfield for this game.
No.
And it showed. And Aaron Rodgers did his best, but when you know what's coming, you just have to hit Rodgers as much as possible. And that's what they did.
Yeah, I have the Vikings winning this game. I don't think the Lions, we kind of said and touched upon it last week, that if the Lions or the Colts won this game, they're the real deal, and the other team isn't. Lions, they look solid on paper, but it comes down to the wire. I don't think they're going to win against a solid team. If there's another solid team going against them, I'm always going to pick the other team just because the Lions haven't proved that they can win those matchups.
Yeah.
I think Matthew Stafford's overhyped. I think that his wide receiver group is one of the worst in the league that gets a lot of praise for whatever reason. And the Detroit Lions defense, I don't even know if they're good or not. I haven't heard anything. Obviously the Colts scored 41 points against them, and that was against Philip Rivers and a wide receiver core that's just not all the way there. So, the Vikings just always look, they beat the Packers, a very solid win. I think
Kenny Golladay isn't good, right? That's what you're saying right now.
Him, Marvin Jones, it's just they're relying all over.
Is that they're not good, or is Matthew Stafford overrated? Because you're also saying Matthew Stafford isn't good, but you're also going to throw to. Which one?
The quarterback should be making the most of all the wide receivers that he's given.
Oh, okay. Got it. So it's Matthew Stafford's fault that
No, it's a conjoint effort of the whole team just sucking and being overrated.
yeah, I think there's only one guy that deserves heat in Detroit, and that's Matt Patricia. I think that Matthew Stafford is a phenomenal quarterback, incredibly underrated. I think Matthew Stafford has top 5 arm talent in the NFL. I think he's phenomenal. I mean, what kind of support has he ever had around him in his career? Either way, it doesn't change the fact that he's not going to have enough support to win this weekend. I'm with you on this one. He really playing Vikings? Yeah, Vikings.
It didn't even matter. It didn't even matter who they played. It's just that the Lions are overrated.
It's not. Yeah, it's not good.
So next we have the Bears versus the Titans.
There's 2 different storylines I have going on in my head going into this game. In one, Nick Foles, coming off of his worst game of the season, is about to go against a defense that made Joe Burrow, who is a good quarterback, but Joe Burrow and the Bengals around him look like a formidable, I'll say it, phenomenal offense. All right, this could be Nick Foles' game where he just really gets to right the ship and put the right foot forwards for the rest of the season. This could also be the game where Ryan Tannehill gets to apologize for making me look like an absolute buffoon last week. I now in hindsight, starting any hashtag like Taney's got swagger probably set him up to fail. So Ryan, I'm sorry. That one's on me.
One's on it.
But now it's time for you to do me right. All right. By showing out. Yeah, I am gonna give you faith, Ryan Tannehill, in our relationship. If this is going to progress, you're going to do the right thing by me and have a good week beating the Bears. So I believe in you, and I believe in the Tennessee Titans.
This is an interesting matchup. I kind of shit on the Tennessee Titans earlier in this episode because their margin of points and their wins is only 12 against not great teams. But also the Bears haven't been playing well recently. And you can make the same argument that they haven't really played anyone solid and also won. They played the Colts and they lost. They played the Buccaneers and they won, but they played the Rams and they lost by 14. And they you can just talk about last night. They lost the Saints who are missing Michael Thomas, the Saints who are dealing with an aging Drew Brees, the Saints that are solely relying on essentially Alvin Kamara to win them the game, and the run defense didn't stop him.
The Bears are the same Bears that they've always been when they're like half decent. They are a horrible offense hiding behind a really good defense. And if they can just look competent enough when they have the ball, they can crank out a handful of wins. You do. It's your show. I already said my piece.
Yeah, thank you. Honestly, I don't know who I'm going to really confidently pick here, just because both teams haven't given me a real reason, any solid proof that they can beat another solid team. I think I, however, have to go with the Titans. The Titans have a quarterback. They have a great running back. They have some people in the wide receiver core that are passable, unlike the Bears.
Yeah.
I don't think Nick Foles is really doing it recently. I think he needs to take a major step up, get it together. I think his wide receiver core needs to get it together. I have to pick the Titans here.
Did you see the punch thrown by the Bears wide receiver?
Yeah, Wims.
Like, dude,
seemed out of nowhere, but then I saw the clip of him like sticking his finger up his helmet. So that was fair. But like what it seemed like he just swung at him, and then the guy was like,
I'm not even worried about fair because it's not like he even hurt the guy. The guy is just standing there confused, like he doesn't know what the hell happened. Even after the second punch, he's like, "Oh, is this?
Yeah, oh, this is happening."
Like, if you're gonna cheap shot someone, first off, don't cheap shot someone. But second off, if you're gonna do it, don't do it when they have a helmet on. Like,
exactly, that hurts.
If you're gonna make an idiot out of yourself, you might as well not go full stupid. Like,
yeah, unbelievable.
somehow I don't think that's the stupidest thing we're going to see in the NFL this year.
Absolutely not.
I mean, Antonio Brown's coming back, so
Oh,
who knows? Who knows?
who knows? Goodness gracious. So next game will be the Bucks versus the Saints.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
We finally get to see how long it takes Antonio Brown to lose his shit.
I'm excited as everyone else. I'm really interested to see how bad this gets. I mean, I've always wanted him to get back in the league. I always knew he would. He went through some weird events. I think he got into
Yeah.
rap / like rock and roll.
Yeah.
There was a weird phase of that. I think everyone forgot about, kind of suppressed that memory.
It wasn't good.
No.
He had like a lot of money that he was throwing into the music videos, but they were never good.
No. The music wasn't good anyway. But he apparently has been looking good at practices. He's been impressing. He might be back. But that's what they always say, right? They have to say it, build up the hype. So I don't know if I'm going to buy into that stock with Tom Brady and Tampa Bay versus the Saints. If Michael Thomas is back, if he what was the injury? He had like a hamstring injury or something. I don't know off the top of my head, but
hamstring, but I'm probably wrong about that.
So if Michael Thomas is back, I think the Saints have this game, but if he isn't, I think that the Buccaneers will win because they'll have the best wide receiving core in all of football just set up on their lineup, just handed to them because Antonio Brown's now on it. If Antonio Brown lives up to the hype, it's hard to not see them as a Super Bowl contender even. I don't think that's unreasonable. I think that's very, very reasonable. You have the GOAT, pains me to say as a Colts fan, but the GOAT of a quarterback in Tom Brady with two already very formidable, respected wide receivers and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. And now you add Antonio Brown, who is just an all-time wide receiver. Hard to not say that they're not going to the Super Bowl, I think. I'm not going to are. I think that I have my opinions on who is going to make it the Super Bowl right now, and I don't include Tampa in it. But I think they're going to make a run for it. So I think the Saints are struggling a little bit right now.
So here's my piece on Antonio Brown, right? You said that, time and time again, he doesn't pan out, right? But the problem has never been his athleticism. It's never been his talent. It's never been his skill. The problem has been that he goes batshit crazy by week 2 on any team, if it even takes that long, and he becomes a distraction and a liability. Now, Bruce Arians has a history with Antonio Brown going back to the Steelers. And I think, even though he wasn't really warming up to Antonio initially, I think he gets, maybe he doesn't understand, but he is familiar to some degree with how Antonio Brown functions or doesn't function. I think that experience will be valuable when it comes to managing Antonio Brown, the personality, as opposed to Antonio Brown, the athlete. I also think that the fact that he's living with Tom Brady is an incredible plus. I don't know if you heard that. They're living together.
No, I heard that. Can you imagine?
I just want to know, so you know how Tom Brady kisses his sons on the mouth? Do you think he kisses Antonio Brown on the mouth before bed every night?
Surely. I mean, when he tucks him in.
Right. It's a nice thing to do.
Slip one in. Go.
Yeah, as you do. So there's going to be a connection there. I think so long as Antonio Brown, the personality, and that's a big if, but if Antonio Brown, the personality, can be kept in check by Tom Brady and Bruce Arians somehow, some way, then the sky is the limit for this team. And if it doesn't work, it's going to be fucking phenomenal to watch.
Yeah.
It's so entertaining to watch them fight on the lines, to be like McNabb versus T.O. all over again. I can't wait. It'll be a great time.
It'll be so exciting to watch either way.
So there's another team playing, also the Saints. The Saints just don't look that good. Taysom Hill does not look good.
They're missing Michael Thomas.
Fair. That's fair. That's a good point.
But I don't think one guy on a team says or should make that big of a difference. If it was a quarterback, yes.
Yeah.
Wide receiver,
Yeah. I think this is going to be a close game, if only because it's going to be a divisional game and the Saints have something to prove. It's going to be the Bucks all day.
yeah, I also have the Bucks.
All right, and here are our quick picks for the week. And for once, Andy, it looks like you didn't copy all my picks.
We got a little adventurous this time. I think we actually have a lot of different picks this week, which is kind of exciting. So just mean more of some exponential growth on my part for victories, like I said.
I tell you what, you're going to have an egg on your face by the end of this week. Between you somehow picking the Bills over the Seahawks.
That's a good pick.
Is it?
It is.
Really picking against Russell Wilson right now? I don't know if that's a good pick.
Josh Allen's just as good.
Okay. As much as I love Raider Nation, and I love Raider Nation, I think this is the week the Chargers right the ship just a little bit and keep Anthony Lynn in the office. Also, it's interesting. You seem to have picked the Saints now. Are you changing your mind?
I know, I did not. I think that was whoever edited this graphics fault.
Oh, so you're saying there's tampering?
There could be.
Interesting. Okay, well, all right. So he's changing his mind already.
I am not. I picked the Bucks.
All right, on to buy or sell. So it kind of feels like so we're recording this on a Monday, and by the time this airs, it's going to be Thursday. And I'm not saying that, we're going to know what the election's going to have in store, but doesn't it feel weird? Like what the world we're talking into right now, it feels like we're talking through a time capsule because I just don't know what the world is going to look like in 3 days.
The world could end in 3 days.
It could, yeah. I mean, it could end tomorrow.
Good.
Tomorrow, who knows?
Who knows?
And like just even the idea of buy or sell just doesn't make sense to me right now because I don't know what the world looks like. What is a necessity in doomsday? Like what is going to be a necessity 3 days from now?
Well, for me, it's going to be a bottle of wine, box of tissues, and keep my phone close so I can call mom.
A cell phone, a bottle of wine, and a box of tissues is either a really sad night or a really great night.
It's always a sad night for me. So
sad night, one way or the other.
Yeah, those are my necessity.
I was gonna say toilet paper, like toilet paper.
That was the biggest thing. That's the first thing off the shelves during COVID.
I think this is just. I think we're seeing a theme. It's just either alcohol and some kind of tissue paper. But hey, you watching this, I hope you're drinking water. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're being kind to yourself. You're being kind to your plants. I'm sure there's a lot of stress going on right now. You're doing great. And you're probably going to be okay. Probably. I need to invest in a sad lamp. Have you ever had, do you know what a sad lamp?
That's our next buy or sell. I have no idea what it is.
So a sad lamp is like, it's like seasonal affective disorder. Like if you just get depressed in the winter because the lack of sunlight, it recreates the yellow light that your circadian rhythm is attuned to for like natural sunlight. So it tricks your body into thinking that it's still summertime, basically.
Do you get tan off these?
No. But you have to get a treat. Like it's a treatment. You treat yourself. You're like, all right. So for the next,
I'm going to stand in front of this light for 3 hours.
I mean, maybe not that, but just like 30 minutes. 30 minutes. You're up to that thing, and like you're reading or something. But like you're up, yeah. And it's funny. It looks ridiculous, but it'll change things up for you. So as we go into a particularly contentious and upsetting and potentially dark winter, buy stock now in some sad lamps. It's going to be a great time.
I'll take your word for it.
I'm okay, everybody.
I'm okay, everybody. I mean, if that works, if light therapy actually works, why not? We all need a little bit of therapy.
Yes.
So, I mean, buy stock in light therapy. I don't have much to say on this. Just because I have no idea what that is.
You
But
know what? I respect that, Andy.
buy stock into whatever makes you happy.
Mm-hmm. So we need sad lamps, heated blankets, tissues,
Bottle of wine,
bottle of wine, and incense. It sounds like, right?
right?
I-
Incense will just make sense.
I am really picky about my incense though. Like I
Okay.
can do if it's like a subtle like I don't know like sandalwood or I don't know. I think they have funny names sometimes, but
Oh, they have names.
you know the like the fresh and like cedary sense, like I'm fine with that. But if we start to get into like the fruity and like I don't know, like once you get too crazy with it, incense to me is just like okay, all right, let's calm down.
It really depends. Like the one I'm smelling right now, the one I have lit behind the scenes, is called Dragon's Milk, and everyone knows what Dragon's Milk smells like, so I don't even have to explain. But I wish it was a little stronger, like all incense, just in general. I feel like a candle can do just as much. Sure, that candle's more expensive. For how cheap incense is, I'm absolutely going to buy it. Incense,
Yeah.
on, I think that they do smell good. If you find some good incense, absolutely buy. Because like you can buy, I bought 30 for $5. That's a good deal. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, you should absolutely. Okay, so yeah, absolutely buy just because you can bulk up 30 for $5. Just bulk up on incense right now.
Buy $40 candles that like are this big.
Yeah.
Like less than this beer can.
Yep.
Why
Yep.
would you? You can buy incense for $5 and you get so much more.
Also, Dragon's Milk as the name of an incense, that sounds like the name of a vape juice.
It probably is. Like it probably is.
Well, in the near future, this is going to start getting adopted into a bit of a podcast. We've been told that our appearances might be better fitting for radio. So if you happen to enjoy what you're hearing or hate it, or you're just a masochist and want to hear it in podcast format, just keep on the look and we'll have that coming your way pretty shortly. By the time you watch this, you may also have been paying attention to the presidential election, in which case we wish you best of luck and hope that you have plenty of wine, toilet paper, sad lamps, incense, and everything else under the sun. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Hopefully we're all alive.